So this is how to connect to your inner child, or how to reconnect with your inner child. So in the first video, I explained my own experience with my inner child. I explained my soul retrieval and just how I ended up reconnecting with my childhood self. I am truly an advocate for journaling in your spiritual pathway. Journaling has helped me in so many ways. It's just, I couldn't even begin to list all of the occasions where journaling has helped me out. So, a very simple way to connect or reconnect with your inner child is to write them a letter. You can tell them, dear, baby version of me, or whatever, dear inner child, or you can call yourself by your name, whatever feels comfortable to you. And you can write them how you feel. Write to your inner child, write to the traumas of your inner child, write to the bad memories of your childhood, write to the good memories of your childhood. Thank the good memories for being there. Thank them for carrying you through and serving you the way they needed to. Those good memories are what protected you and kept your life magical at that time. Write to the bad memories that helped you come to the sense of reality and how things can be. Thank the bad experiences of your childhood for teaching you how to be strong now. And, even though trauma's horrible and I don't wish bad on anyone, we're still the wounded healers. We can help heal others through our own wounding. As hard of a concept as it is to grasp, forgiving people that have hurt us with unconditional love and forgiveness is not something a lot of people want to hear to do, but it is necessary. You have to forgive them. You have to understand that maybe the people that hurt you were hurt themselves. Maybe they only had their own experiences to go off of and didn't know how to parent you properly. Maybe childhood friends didn't know how to play well, or maybe they saw stuff that they shouldn't have shown you. Whatever those kind of childhood traumas may have been manifested as, thank them for their experience, that they taught you something, because they did teach you something. They taught you a valuable lesson. It's forgiving those that have hurt us, even though it's not what people want to fucking do ever, but it's freeing, because you're forgiving them for you, not for them. You're the only one that is losing out by not forgiving someone. They don't give a fuck. They have already moved on and don't care. And this can pertain to any trauma in your life, relationships or beyond. But you're doing it for you, and that's the whole point in this journey. So remember that forgiving someone does not make you weak. It does not give them power. It gives you power. It takes your power back from them, from the people that have manipulated it or abused it or taken it for granted. Forgiving them ultimately gives you back your own power. And that's what healing your inner child does. It gives you this power back to re-experience joy and magic in the way that you could through the eyes of a child. So yeah, you can even just journal to the bad experiences. And when I'm clearing out energy like that, I tend to oftentimes burn the paper. I burn it, and either I'll release it into the wind, or I will flush it to truly be rid myself of that energy. And sometimes it takes a while. It won't happen overnight. Sometimes you need to journal about the bad memories multiple times and burn it multiple times for it to truly be cleared. But at least it's a start, and at least you're getting somewhere. Because remember, energy from our childhood has been so repressed or suppressed, either or. You gotta scratch the surface with it, really. And that's what healing is. It's scratching the surface to get to those deeper rooted issues and those deeper layers of problems that, have manifested into your adulthood. So that's why healing the inner child is so important. It's important to do the work. It's important to remerge with yourself. It's important to acknowledge your traumas and say, this happened to me, without feeling disempowered by it. And a way to do that is very simple. If, for example, because I wasn't trying to talk about like weird shit, I guess, but it's very well known, and I guess I shouldn't be sugarcoating anything. Children that were molested or taken advantage of. Let's just get to it, because that's really what bigger trauma is. If you were abused sexually as a child, and your power was taken advantage of, a way to help feel your power again and call your power back is to simply just like lay down, or you can sit down, whatever is comfortable to you, and literally just state that. Just say it out loud. Closing your eyes. You can utilize crystals. You can use sunstone. You can use a selenite wand. Yeah, I typically use citrine for my solar plexus though, or sunstone. So you can use stones or crystals if you would like. It's not a necessity. Or you can even use essential oils like lemon, chamomile. You can use cinnamon, but make sure you dilute it with oil first, because that shit burns. So you can use essential oils, you can use crystals, things like that. Whatever you feel comfortable, or you don't have to use anything at all. You can just be. But just say out loud, I call back my power from my abuser across all timelines and dimensions, and I forgive them with unconditional love and forgiveness. And I ask that they send me that back with unconditional love. And I ask that my power come back to me from all timelines and dimensions right now. And then literally envision your energy, your solar plexus, because that's where our inner child energy really is. It can also be the heart energy too. Imagine yourself getting flooded with this energy. I can actually feel energy coming to me or coming out of me. So I literally feel it. If meditation is a new practice to you, or you just don't feel subtle energies that strongly, just envision it. Because that's really how I developed my ability to feel, as well as getting Reiki certified. But literally envision a yellow light being poured back into you, a yellow light of power, a yellow light of empowerment and joy, and love. You can also talk to yourself out loud and say, I am safe across all timelines and dimensions. You can also ask your abuser to take their energy out of you, by just simply saying, I ask that my abuser take their energy away from me, and I ask that they give me mine back in return with unconditional love and forgiveness. And if you are doing this, and maybe you haven't forgiven them, like wholeheartedly forgiven them, it's okay. It's okay to just say it and not 100% mean it yet. If you need to do this more than one time, that's okay too, because some people do have to do that. But yeah, do it as many times as you need. Do it before you go to bed. Do it when you meditate. You can do it whenever you need to. Know that forgiveness and love and reclaiming your power is not something that just ends with one statement. There's a ton of moments that throw us off that course, and throw us out of that balance to where we feel disempowered again. So if you need to do that multiple times, and this, like I said, goes from any type of trauma in your childhood, don't just take it as, oh, I only can do that if I've been through that experience. Because I know a lot of people who haven't been through that experience that still feel the need to call back their power by just having like, maybe a parent figure that wasn't always the nicest to them, or not validating of their emotions. So there's other traumas too. I don't want you to think that childhood trauma has to be to the extreme, because it doesn't. It can be simply just your parent not being as present as you needed them to be. It can be as simple as, being left out of them picking who's going to play dodgeball. It can be feeling left out of the crowd and just isolated, or feeling like you didn't fit in as a kid, or like you weren't talented enough, um, or you just being shy, or whatever. Trauma can be manifested as any way in your life. So that's a way to call your power back from those situations, people, and experiences. But yeah, that's always my best recommendation, is to actually write a letter to your inner child. Also, just writing about your experience in your childhood. Writing a letter to your childhood self and putting it under your pillow, so maybe you dream and connect to them in the dream realm. Meditation, doing solar plexus meditations. There's, I'm sure, inner child meditations on YouTube that you can experience, or go look into. You can call on your higher self to help you heal your inner child relationship and help you to merge with them. You can call on your ancestors to help you reveal to you what needs to be healed in your inner childhood. Because that's another issue. Sometimes we just don't know what needs to be healed. Like, it's still so dormant within us that we really just don't know how to tap into it, or we forget by repressing and suppressing so many memories and issues and feelings that we don't even remember. So calling on your higher self when you're about to go to sleep or you're about to meditate, and asking them to reveal to you what needs to be healed in your childhood. And when you heal these things, that's when it's easier to merge with your childhood self. You can do childhood activities. You can go to the park and play on the swings. You can slide down the slide. You can do cartwheels, jump rope, roller skating. You can go run through some sprinklers. I know I used to love that shit as a kid. You could play hopscotch. You could paint. You could watch childhood TV shows or movies that you used to love as a kid, just to bring back that nostalgic memory for you. Play in the sun. Drink yellow or orange drinks that are invigorating. Like, my favorite one is always like oranges, pineapple, mango, and some like cayenne pepper. I love juicing that, but those kind of drinks can help you connect with your inner child self again. And just doing stuff that you did as a kid, whatever made you happy as a kid, do those activities. Finger painting, shit like that. Because when you do activities that you used to do as a kid, that's reawakening your inner child. That's tapping into and connecting back to that energy. Your experience may not be like how mine was, like actually seeing the figure of myself and merging with her and feeling her, but it might just be reawakening that part of yourself. And maybe that's how you need to connect to your inner child. Reading and studying on childhood traumas, if maybe they are some more repressed issues from your childhood, reading books on it that can give you the self-awareness that you need and kind of bring out what it was that did hurt you as a kid. There's so many opportunities available to us to connect to our inner child every single day. It is our conscious decision if we want to choose that route or not. Do you want to heal that? Do you want to re-experience that? Do you want the benefits of being whole again? Because when you're whole, nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take your wholeness away, and you're always whole. I don't want you to think you're not, but feeling that wholeness is different, because we're always whole, but feeling it is what's really going to bring it out. And I mean, if we're talking about soul retrieval, then maybe if we aren't always whole, because those are fragments of our souls that disappear. So some of us out there might not be whole right now and have soul fragments chilling up in the ethers that we need to go grab. And I'm not saying that you have to go get a soul retrieval from a shaman. That is just what I did until I reconnected with another aspect of my childhood self. But initially, that is what started my inner child healing journey. And then that whole shaman experience, that whole soul retrieval experience, really made me reevaluate my childhood on like a regular basis, replaying memories, reanalyzing those memories, rethinking about them from different perspectives, And just it helped me to understand my parents a lot better. It helped me to understand my relationship with my sister a lot better. And then, realizing that I was an asshole as a kid too. So yeah, there's a lot to be learned from our own childhood. Um, and if you are serious about healing and your spiritual journey, this is something that you can't jump over. You can't brush it under the rug. I've said many times that you can't brush things under the rug because they will eventually have to be cleaned. And most people have this issue of suppressing these memories so bad to the point where they don't ever heal it or forgive the people that hurt them until, it's almost too late, or until they're too old. And they just stay this wounded child all of their life rather than healing it and actively paying attention to it. So if you are on a healing journey and you're actually doing the work, the inner child healing, the shadow work, the nitty-gritty shit, you understand that this is not for the faint-hearted, and it takes strength and courage to do this kind of work. It really does, because you're digging up roots of issues that maybe you never even knew were there, and you're constantly like kind of like a gold mine. Like, we're all digging up parts of this land within ourselves to find those golden opportunities and those golden moments within ourselves. And we carry that gold. We are gold. But it needs to be dug up first. It needs to be brought to the surface. So yeah, inner child healing is beautiful. But it can stir up some deep emotions, so I recommend doing it when you feel called to. It's not something you have to rush into or be forced into, but along your journey it will come up and it will need your attention at some point. The way I heal, I just try to get that shit over with. Like, I'm not trying to reincarnate here. So I try to heal as actively as possible and as much as I can handle in the spiritual realm. Because it does take a lot of energy out of you sometimes to heal these kind of things. But I also don't rush the process. But I don't run from the healing either. So it's like, if it presents itself, I'm going to fucking heal it right then and there. I'm not going to sit here and try to prolong that process. There we go. That's what I meant. Oops, shit. I dropped my ring. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed my little how-to on healing and reconnecting with your inner child. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share if you choose to. I'm also available for personal reading and distance Reiki sessions. So I will leave my information below if that is something that you're interested in. And yeah, I wish you guys a beautiful healing journey and a beautiful remembering of your own inner child and reconnecting to that energy. Bye, guys.